Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran's off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Attacking 12, take a check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2-1 start, take a shot.
Officer still stands for time? No. Offender in custody? Let me know.
Sweet. I'll let a supervisor know that rest attached.
What's up? Hold on 1 second. I got to get rid of that. There we go. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night. True crime top headlines tonight. There's so much going on in the true crime world. I figure we'll sit back tonight and kind of discuss all the other stuff going on. Not that we're not going to talk about Mica, but we're going to discuss all the other stuff going on. A lot of stuff. And then Alec Baldwin. What's up with that? Alec Baldwin. What do you guys think about that? What's up, JD, Captain, Michael, Kib Kitty? Caddy, welcome. Detective, hope you're feeling better, Detective. Yes, Friday night. A lot of crazy stuff. Pam, what's up? It just seems like it's getting worse and worse. Sandlapper. Is it technology? Is it the YouTube platform? Is it TikTok? Is that why there's more attention to a lot of this stuff? Is that why a lot of this stuff is being reported more? Or does it seem like it's just happening more? I don't know. What's up, Patricia? You all are, because without you, I couldn't do this. We can get to the bottom of this real quick. Okay, Cosmos. We get to the bottom of this real quick. Sharon Ree, True Crime Walsh. What's up, Tracy? True Crime Walsh. If you'd like to become a member, it should be pinned at the top message there. It should have a link there. If it's iPhone, I'm not sure. One of the mods will have to help you out. I don't have an iPhone. I've always had so many people try and get me to switch. What's up, Cherry, TJ? 29, Stephanie. I've always had people try and get me to switch to iPhone, but I'm an Android guy. Charity, thank you so much. Email in my inbox that you just sent. Let's see. Oh. Well, they should be, right? I thought about having a political show over at the lounge one of these nights, because there's a lot of crap going on with the political world too, right? About to change your name? Oh, cool. Sits on the Fox River. I mean, I kind of think so too, but I don't know. That's why I said, it don't take much. That's what TikTok is, showing videos of your face when you're talking. It don't take much. It wouldn't take much for True Crime Marie to just say hello. What's up, Beach Bell? Even if it's like a 10-second, hey, what's up? I'm real. I don't know. What's up, Rita? And then there's word that JP just got married, but we were asking why he was still wearing a wedding ring um, weeks ago. Remember in his videos, he was wearing wedding rings? And, you already had a girlfriend when your wife passed away. So I imagine, a few weeks ago, I was saying, how does that make your girlfriend feel, right? How does that make your girlfriend feel? What's up, Vivian? What's up, Yoli? What are you up to, Yoli? If you want to join, you let me know. I'll send you a link. Shoot me an email. Oh, thank you, Michael. Thank you for the kind words. Sonic Youth in there. Oh yeah, I heard about TD, Vivian. Isn't that crazy? All the Puffy stuff that's coming out and all the people that are connected to Puffy. Sonic. I know Sonic Youth is a band. I don't know about the others. Thank you to the Angels. What's up, Moonlight Rays? Yeah, wasn't it? And it's going to get wicked tonight, too. Be careful. It's supposed to get really bad again around 10:30, 11 o'clock to like 1 in the morning, I think. So be careful, anybody here in the MBSC area. What's up, Sarah? Tracy, ticket forward it. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate the kind words. Today was the icing I needed for shit cake week. What's up, Kathy T? What's that? I know, right? Like, that's crazy, no? What's up, Bev? Collateral damage. Samantha. Looking all cool with them shades. What's up, ET? Thank you. We need to have you. I'm thinking, what about Tuesday night? Let me know. Let me know if you'd have, or let me know if you'd have a weekday or a weeknight coming up this week, somewhere between Monday evening and Friday morning, in between that area. I'd like to have you on a show and we can kind of sit back and go through a bunch of stuff. Let me know if you do the daytime, though. Because I'd like to have Rosie on when you hop on, too. Everyone calls you Steph. What's up, Tiffany? Coffee's tasting good. Want to say contribution call out. Kylie Cosmos, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate you. We just had a members live earlier today. We started going through my footage. We're going through from beginning to end. It's going to be multi-part. We went through 6-2 to let me see, 6-2 to 6-5. And we got all the way up to the current date. Now, if you're not a member, those are going to be put out. I think the subscriber re-air, I think, is going to be Sunday evening. I think is when the subscriber re-air is going to be. So if you are a member, you'll have a few day early access, and then it's going to be re-aired for everybody. Contribution call out, Moonlight Rays, thank you. Appreciate the contribution to the show. And you as well. some stuff for you to enjoy. Pretty interesting stuff. When we went through it, I think I had only uploaded out of all those videos. I thought I uploaded 5 or 6, but I had written them down to upload. I think I only uploaded 2 out of all those videos. And what's cool is you can leave a comment in the video and let me know. I call out the file numbers for each version, whether it's GoPro, Sony, or S23. And then you can just let me know what the file number is and if you think it should be uploaded. And then a little description of why. What's up, Delia? Yes, we're going to go into that tonight, Samantha. This is True Crime Top Headlines tonight. We're going to go into that video. Isn't that crazy, right? It's still, when I watched it, I was shocked. I was surprised. After, I'm not changing my mind. Even though what took place inside now, the reason I say that is because I didn't really think that the frat dudes really had anything to do with it. So when it comes to the video, it doesn't change what I'm thinking. Y'all know what I'm thinking if you guys have been with me since we went down and searched for Riley Strain before he was found. Got a lot of good GoPro video for that too. Definitely go check it out. It was shocking to see the events that took place in the video. But I can also understand how the frat brothers didn't really, they kind of tried, but then kind of didn't. So if anything, it maybe made the frat brothers story a little more solid, if that makes sense. But we'll get into it. That's one of the things that we are going to get in, into this evening. All right, give me 1 second here. Let's pull up the first one here. And let's go into that. Why not? Since y'all brought it up. Okay, so we're going to show, let me see here. Okay, this was, wait, I thought it was before that. There was a new 5. Okay. I guess this is it. All right, so here's the Riley Strain video. 1 second. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's go full screen.
To be clear, the investigation into what happened to Riley Strain is now closed. It was determined that he died by accidental drowning. But this new video obtained from inside Luke Bryan's bar provides some new insight, perhaps, into how things went down that fateful night this past March. For the first time here, you see video of Riley Strain walking unsteadily down the stairs with a security guard who is escorting him out of Luke Bryan's bar. It was the evening of March 8th, and Strain, a 22-year-old student from Missouri, suddenly found himself on his own, alone, on crowded Lower Broad in Nashville, under the influence and in an unfamiliar city. He disappeared, and 2 weeks later, his body was pulled from the Cumberland River.
My company works on the river. I have just found a dead body. I believe it to be Riley.
There have been questions about what led Strain to be kicked out of the bar, and where were the fraternity brothers who traveled with him to Nashville. This video was obtained from the investigative file. Here you see Strain following a friend in the crowded bar over to a table with the others. They sit for a while, and then Strain follows a friend up to the bar. It is at about this time security sends out this alert, warning that Strain was verbally aggressive with staff. Not long after that, an employee points Strain out to a security guard, who then goes to talk to him. After a few minutes of conversation, you see Strain's friend trying to get Strain to go back to the table with the others, but he stays. After more talking, the security guard then moves to lead Strain out of the bar, and it appears the friend, in the backwards baseball hat, turns to go tell the others. And that brings us back to the video of the stairway where Strain is led down by the security guard and then out of the bar. By the time Strain's fraternity brothers made it down to try to find him, he was gone. The investigation found no wrongdoing on behalf of the bar, and the video does not raise any new questions. The bottom line, the case is closed. The death was ruled an accident. No foul play.
Still crazy, you know what I mean? It's just like the first day that we showed up when they said the same, no foul play. Nana, if you'd like to hop up on panel, let me know. Send me an email, send me a message. Oh damn! What the hell is? Oh, I know. Right. Yeah, Nana, if you send me a message if you want up on panel 2. I'm going to show you guys. This is why. Now, we went and searched. We were there for a whole week. That's when everybody was reaching out to me to go search for Sebastian, is when we were down here doing the Riley Strain work. So you can see, this is when I was interviewed from the local TV station WSMV when we were down there. Now, these are the videos I want to show you because I'm going to give you a link to each one. There's 3 parts to it, 1, 2, and 3. This shows how there's no way in hell dude fell into the water, for that matter, and nobody not notice anything. In this GoPro footage, boots on the ground out there is going to show you on the riverbank. It's going to show you it's not possible. Here's the link to the first one. Here's just a little bit of the footage here. Do you guys have snakes over here?
Yeah.
Should we worry about them? Or?
No.
Okay. So we go all the way through there, all the way along the riverbank to show you it's not possible. It's not possible. Now there's 3 of them. You can literally skip to the next one. It'll take you to part 2. Shows you even more of the riverbank along where he supposedly would have fell. You can skip to the next one. Takes you to 3. Takes you to the spot where the credit debit card was found, and then something a little suspicious around that area. So definitely check them out. Just go ahead and click on that first link. That's part 1. It'll take you to all the others. Now, when it comes to what took place inside, back to this video where it shows what was taking place. Now, it does show, it does look like the friend was trying to go get help. Somehow they got separated. It's one of those places where probably it's at a max capacity. You know, once you leave, good luck trying to get back in, because bunch. Whole huge lines everywhere down there. If you are a member, you can scroll back in the video section and there's some members only videos where you can see the path walking around downtown, showing you how busy it is, even taking you down there at night to show you the exact path that Riley walked, plus even had the Google guy up there telling you the directions as you were walking and why it led you down to the area where he was actually going. It was to a fitness place, not, there we go, no reentry. It wasn't for the hotel. It was a mistake that was put in from Google and it led him the wrong way. Now, when I was down there on the road, on location, there was so many local people coming up telling me, you don't want to be here. What's up, Mary Jorie? Yeah, Nashville. You don't want to be down here at night. You definitely don't want to be down here alone. We walked the path at night where he was actually trying to walk to. Do we have the autopsy report? No, I don't. Does anybody have it? I know they said that there was what? No, what's up, Busby? That there was no. Yeah, Samantha. One friend should have. I mean, I remember we were there the that he was found. What's up, Yoli?
Hey, hi. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good. This Riley Strange.
There was other video. There was other video of Riley, I thought, inside the bar, I thought.
It's this one. There's this one and then the other one. So it shows him. See where he's kind of with the friend. He's coming over here. The friend's like, dude, go down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Verbally aggressive with staff. No re-entry. So now they're having discussions about it. That's when a guy walks up to him. Hey, man. Now he starts getting into it. See the buddy? He's pointing to Riley. He's pointing for him to go sit down. Go sit down, bro. You know? Go sit down. Now, something happened right here because you can see. Let's go back to this. You can see they notice him right here. For some reason, they notice him doing something. I don't know what. See that guy pointing at him? Now, right before that, he walks up to his friend. So let's go ahead. Let's scroll back to here. All right. So he's right here right in the front of this circle. So he's kind of standing there. He's a little wobbly. Yeah, he's a little wobbly. Maybe that's why they pointed him out, because he appeared too intoxicated. So now it looks like right here. Okay, so right here, you got this guy. You got this guy at the bottom right. Okay, they must have seen him. Now he's leaving, walking up to the left, obviously going to go talk to him. Now it says he was verbally aggressive with the staff. So now he was verbally aggressive with the staff, so he probably calls a supervisor over. Says, hey, that's the guy that was verbally aggressive with me.
Mm-hmm.
So now that guy goes up, and then this guy's standing back to make sure. So now they're having a conversation. He's probably saying, look, man, you need to go home. You probably had a little too much. His friend's like, come on, just go back to the table, man. Probably trying to save him from getting kicked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just go back to the table, man. Look at him right here. This right here is... Now, how do you get they didn't notice him this visibly intoxicated when he came in. So how in the hell did he get that intoxicated in what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
I don't know. It's weird.
Look at him. He's still kind of stumbly
Well, yeah.
right up here. Same guy walking him out. He's probably pleading with him. Still being, looks like he was still being right here. You can see he kind of stops and leans in. That's an aggressive stance. When you stop and you lean in, right? Lean in.
Yeah.
You're pleading something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. No, it doesn't change what took place. I mean, hell, when he ran and fell, when I walked that path, there was nothing right there. There was nothing in the parking lot right there that would make you trip and fall either. So he tripped over his own feet. Now, the camera doesn't necessarily show it, but when you're walking that direction, it is at a decline. I mean, because you're at the top of a hill. As you're getting to that spot where he turns, I walk the path with my GoPro. You're getting to that spot and you turn. You're walking uphill from Luke Bryan's bar. And when you turn right to go down this street, now you're going back down the hill. So it is quite a slope. It is quite a slope. In just a couple block area, you're dropping down a good 150 feet just in a couple block area. So there is quite a bit of slope going down. But you had to have tripped over your own feet, or the fact that you're running, you don't have your balance, gravity, kind of takes you a little bit. There's definitely not something there to make you trip though. And another thing is there was no discoloration to that cement post that he ran into. So his head either hit it and didn't bleed, or he didn't hit it at all.
Yeah. But he's lanky. I mean, look at those legs. He could have tripped over. Yeah, he's likely tripped over himself.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, then the other video, the one after that, showing him go under, he's kind of holding his head too. He was definitely not, he was definitely a little dizzy. And then over here, this is the same spot. They cut it off right here. This is the same spot where he stops, kind of turns around. That's where the girl in the cowboy hat says something. But he's unfortunately, he walks down one of the most dangerous streets in Nashville at night, unfortunately. Now, when all this was taking place, there was a lot of people walking up and down them streets. Not so much at night, but there was still people. But after he was found, there's nobody.
Yeah, it's sad. It's a waste.
I feel bad for the family, That's why they're getting their own their own autopsy, their own investigation. Am I still thinking the same thing I was before? Yes, Busby. There's just based off of what I experienced when I was there. When I couldn't, the last time I was down there, I couldn't go to the green fence spot anymore because there was already 2 people living in that spot. I couldn't go in there anymore. So it's a good thing that I went in there when we were first down there, because the weird thing about that homeless encampment down there is that it has grown, but half the people are new. The guy that was sleeping on the bench that was disabled, he's not there. He wasn't there anymore. There was only, out of all of the people that I seen walking around, there was maybe 3 that I recognized from before. There's that. So it almost makes me wonder, was there people that wouldn't keep their mouth shut? And because there's a homeless encampment, there's different parts. They're in different sections, and they're all along that riverbank. If you were on the episode when me and Trey went on the boat for Riley Strain, you can see there's like a president's camp that's under one of the interstates that's away from all the traffic, and he's kind of secluded. There's different encampments up along the shore in different spots along that river. And so it could be one of these things where it's like, yo, man, you can stay over there, but you can't stay around here because you're bringing too much attention over here. I don't know. It's just odd to me. You know what I mean? Where it's like 3/4 of the people are new. Why? Wouldn't you think that they would all stay in the same spot if they've found a home, they settled?
I would think.
You know what I mean? Like you take the time. Like some of these encampments are like well built too. They like, because there's so much garbage along that riverbank. And I'm talking like even bricks and stuff. And so what they've done, like the mayor, the one that I call the mayor's camp, right over where his card was found, the back part of his encampment is built out of cinder blocks. Like half of their house, it's a dude and a woman and their 2 dogs. Half of their house is built out of cinder blocks. Like it's pretty well built stuff. And so to me, it's weird that there would be 3/4 of different people when it's like, you would think that it would be the same people. It was the same people for the 3 weeks that we were around there. And then when I went back, that's when everything, it was like a month later or something. And that's when it was like 3/4 different people. And I'm just like, what?
That's weird. Unless there's transients that just come through there, but it just doesn't seem like that.
No. I mean, you would think. I mean, because they have their own like operation, like they have their own thing where they have their panhandling system. Mm-hmm. They have their pickpocket system, where they pickpocket tourists and stuff. They have people that work for the city, that is supposed to take care of them, go out, give them the free gift bags and things like that, like supplies like deodorant, toothpaste, and a pair of boxers and things like that. And they need to know where to go take them this stuff too. So it's not like they can just go from one spot to the next. I mean, they want to be in the same spot because then they receive more assistance from the city. So none of it makes sense. What's that picture?
Doesn't.
And Allie, the protester, the one that organizes the protest for Mica Miller, she had brought up an interesting theory to me in a text message. She had said, let me get to the text so So I say what it is exactly here. Okay, she had said that there was a homeless encampment right next to Dick's pawn shop. So she was also wondering, was there somebody, because when it comes to the homeless, there's a lot of reports of a certain pastor, employing homeless for certain things or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a good idea from Allie. Shout out Allie. And I don't know. I know when I went to Dick's pawn shop. What's up, Analytical? I know when I went to Dick's pawn shop, there was a lot of people just kind of hanging around on the street. I did find that kind of odd. I didn't know that there was a homeless encampment around there. But now that she had mentioned that, it kind of makes sense.
I wonder if those people hanging around at Dick's, the pawn shop, if they're there because people are pawning things and then they come out and buy drugs or drug dealers,
I mean, who knows? There's a lot of times people pawn stuff for certain things, and they don't pay the fee, and then it just goes away, and that's where it's one of those things where you go to buy something and tag, you got to wait for like 2 weeks. So they already advertise it in the event that you're not coming back to get it, but they always have those tags. Let me see here. There was something else. Now let's get into this. There's something else I wanted to get into now. This is unfortunate. This is all right, here it is. Tiffany had asked about this earlier. This is still Riley Strain. Private investigator completes Riley Strain investigation. Here, hold on. Here we go.
Investigator hired by the family of Riley Strain has completed his separate investigation. The 22-year-old college student went missing after a night on Broadway back in March. His body later found in the Cumberland River. Now, private missing person investigator Steve Fisher says he will not disclose any information as this report belongs to the family of Riley Strain, but it's a 281-page report, and he says it includes an hour of video with surveillance footage back from March 8th. According to the medical examiner, the 22-year-old died from accidental drowning and alcohol intoxication. The Metro Nashville Police Department also ruled his death as accidental. The private investigator says what the family chooses to do with this report is entirely up to them. Well, Fisher did go on social media writing, quote, "I waited until all other agencies completed their reports before releasing mine to the family. With so much data already released, the family may decide not to read my report at this time. It is a lot to rehash, and the accompanying video will undoubtedly be hard to watch." Right now, we do not know if the family will release those findings publicly.
Wow.
All right. So I don't know. I would imagine since, that's a lot of pages, but at the same time, what's on them? There's an hour of video, so that's good. That means he probably got there's a lot of cameras around there. We walked around there. There's cameras. There's a lot of cameras. Even from across the street, if you remember, they were trying to get the cameras from the marathon little petroleum storage that they have there right off the side of the river. I don't know how good the cameras would have been. But this is the interesting thing. I think the fact that there was nothing released, like there's 281 pages, 102 hours of footage. It's kind of like the 5 terabytes with Idaho. You know what I mean? Like, how much is it? How much of the footage really pertains to the case, right?
Right. And you figure, it's a private investigator, and you figure he's doing his work, and he wants to be as thorough as possible, and so he's going to put everything together, and some of it might be redundant, who knows. But to go through all of that 102 hours of footage, that's
Well, it's like Idaho 4, but this is what I'm saying. Like, if there was nothing that came out with this little news clip, then I doubt anything is going to really differ than what was told to the public, right, Yoli? Don't you think if something was different than what the public knew, don't you think Newsman would have mentioned it?
If he knew about it, if he knows, but I think maybe the family hasn't had a chance to look at everything, or if they did, they would definitely talk about it.
Okay, so if I'm I'm just going to tell you how I would do it, all right? If I'm a private investigator, this goes to all the people in the future that I might work with. If I'm a private investigator and I do a 281-page report and I go through 102 hours worth of video footage, I'm not going to make you read through the report to tell you what the shit is. I'm going to tell you what the shit is. So the fact that, the family would have to... No, I'm telling you right now, as soon as it was done, I'm talking to the family. Yeah. The family, if it is different than what's been put out there from the local media, then don't you... I mean, I'm just saying the game of telephone works quick in 2024, and so does the telephone going to the national media, especially when it comes to how we all feel about the Riley Strain case and how we feel that there was foul play. I would think it would be announced lickety split.
Right. I did too. I would be the one telling them. I mean, to expect the family to go through 102 hours of footage is crazy, but I would be the one to be, telling them what was going, so that at least they have some information. And then if they want to look at the footage, they can, but.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that doesn't, because what doesn't pertain is what is already put out there.
Right.
No foul play, accidental, all of these things. So I would think that if something came out, it would be all over the national media. It would be all over YouTube. It would be all over it's been out for 3 days now. Yeah. 3 days this report has been done. So the fact that we haven't heard anything different, it's either two things. Either it's the same as what was already put out there to the general public, which I don't understand how it could be, or number two, the private investigator didn't really do very good. It's one of the two.
That could be true.
It's one of the two.
True, yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Tell me where he fell, because I walked all up along that riverbank, and I'm telling you right now, he did not fall anywhere near that riverbank that I walked, part 1, 2, and 3, and then end up in the river and then floated down the river. It ain't happening. It's just not happening. In my opinion, he was placed in the frickin' river.
Yeah, I don't see how he could have fallen either, but I have no idea. It's a mystery. It's always going to be a mystery, it looks like.
Look, there's no way. Hold on, I'm going to show. I'm just going to go to a certain part. Let's see. Let's go to my history. Let's see. Was it okay? Yeah, number 3. Okay, the credit card right at the edge here is where it was found, about 7 feet in front of me. And let me see.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, it's part 2. Hold on. It's part 2. It's just not possible. Okay, here's us walking over to it, right? So right in front of us is where the card was found, to the left where I'm standing. Look at all this brush. You're not falling and hitting all this brush and then falling in the water to float off. That brush is going to break your fall. There's a bunch of rocks. You can see in these videos, there's a bunch of rocks that would even stop you from being able to float away. See all that?
This is weird.
You got all the brush, the trees, the brush, the garbage, and then rocks. And then where you see water, there's another 5 feet of a bunch of rocks that are under that much water.
Yeah, that's weird.
It just don't make no sense.
I mean, we may never find out what happened.
All right, we're going to switch to, here's a link to this. Episode 2 is the one that shows you the juicy stuff when it comes to the 3 parts. That one shows you some interesting stuff, and it shows you the location of where the card was found as well. And kind of what I think, because as I stumble across something with Najee, I kind of whisper a little something, and it makes me wonder, and then you kind of see what I'm talking about, because I think that dude that lives there has something to do with Riley getting into the water far enough where Riley would float off.
Huh.
That's why I think the card was there. Because I think he did fall. He didn't fall in the river and then float away. No, it's not happening.
And then
Now,
his boot his boots off, his pants off.
Yeah, that too, right? The boots. I have cowboy boots. It takes some force to take the cowboy boots off. Because right above your ankles, they come in a little bit, so you either have to pull them on or you gotta pop them off. That's just how cowboy boots are. The fact that you're telling me that them things, there is enough current. Now, there is a lot of current in the Cumberland River. A lot of current. But to pull off somebody's boots when they're stuck, and then the pants too, when there was a belt, but then it leaves the undies. It just doesn't make sense. Riley's family got an attorney, didn't they? Maybe the family is. I just hope there's a conclusion of the truth. That's all.
Yeah.
Because when we were down there, I was literally 5-10 feet from the mom and the dad 90% of the time. And to sit there and watch her cry and have to be consoled just to stand there and try and just have a presence and try and see where she, just trying to find a direction. Like, it was heartbreaking. It's when I went down there to search for Riley Strain, that it was a life-changing moment, because that's when I was like, you know what? Like, it's one thing to go report stuff on location and do these different things, but you know what? I need this. This isn't about some court case or something that happened 7 years ago. This is now,
Mm.
you know. And then that's when the community was reaching out. Go search for Sebastian. Sebastian needs you. We need people like you to search. And then that's when we started going up searching for Sebastian. Unfortunately, some people
Yeah.
ruined that. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's a mess.
Even
But-
the cease and desist that I got from Seth. Right?
It's just a mess. I mean, a total mess. You know, and I missed some parts of when you were doing the Riley Strain and Sebastian because I was working, but yeah, that's what led you to Sebastian. I remember that's what led you to. They were like, go search, and
Yeah.
that just turned into the biggest circus ever. And I try not to watch anything on it, but every now and then it comes up on my feed, and it's just getting crazier and crazier.
Well, this was the day right here, the day that I was taking this footage. That was the same day that dog hit was announced for Sebastian's case, if you guys remember way back then. This was the same day because right before I went to take this footage, there was a whole bunch of people saying, you got to go search. You got to go search. It was like 3 days of people begging me to go search for Sebastian. And I'm like, I don't even know about this case. What's this case?
Right.
We need to look it up, you know? And this right here, when we took this footage, this was the same day that supposed dog hit was announced for Sebastian's case. And you're right when it comes to it. Unfortunately, it is sad because ever since, I mean, we quit talking about it a long time ago. I was already done talking about it, and then I got a cease and desist. So that was even weird because I'm like, I haven't even talked about it. And then number two, who was done? I don't do the Yodel-Lehu search shit. Spend half the time in my car when I'm in Hendersonville. When I was in Hendersonville, I got my ass out and I searched the whole time. So to me, it's like, who has searched like we did, me and the team? Who searched like we did? And we get the cease and desist? Like what the hell happened? Yes, it has turned into a very drama-filled. It's unfortunate, you know. That's why we quit talking about it a while back, because I told, not that we're not going to talk about it. Shoot, it's part of the hashtag in the description. If there's an update, which there is, if there's an update, we're going to talk about it. But other than that, it's just like I said 2 months ago. What direction do we even know where to go? We don't even know what direction he left the house. What update has been out since then?
And, you know, you tried to get information like where do you think we could search, you know, from his grandmother, and people just, and everybody's just vague. They just either don't answer the question or they say he could be anywhere. I mean, it was just ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. Something happened to that boy.
Unfortunately, you know, because when it was reported that he was playing Call of Duty, right? I was like, yo, if it's a PlayStation and you're playing Call of Duty, you got to have online capabilities, because most of the time these days you have to be online and connected in order to frickin' play the damn games anyway. Half the time, if you're not connected now, you can't even play your game.
Yeah,
so to say that he didn't have access to other people, that was a bullshit lie.
There are some suspicious things with regard to his disappearance, but, you know, there's probably just not enough to do anything about it. And I heard, and I don't know if yeah, I heard that they're narrowing the search for him. They're still searching. I saw that somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, we're going to get into that video here in a second. I don't know what you're narrowing. Because it could be the whole United States. Like, seriously, what direction? Like, after it was just like when me and Busby and Narc Divers and everybody were standing there together after all this searching that we did. I mean, a couple months of just straight up, marathon searches. And we stood there and we go, man, after all this searching, the lakes and the woods and the roads and the underpasses, and there's nothing. Not even a truck.
Terry Lynn is searching and searching. You think she'd come across something, and I mean there were things, but nothing.
I mean, I don't know about all that. It's a bunch of hoopla over that way.
Crazy. I mean, it's crazy that it's just nuts. It's like this poor boy. I hope he's safe somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to certain things being found, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You can listen. It was like when the pants were found. We already showed y'all they weren't the pants. And
then the
oh my gosh, you guys! Oh my gosh, I think I found the pants. They're not Adidas. Next.
The bones.
It's a money grab. It's a money grab. Well, that was real.
I know that was scary.
We came across that after like 2.5 hours of searching, in a different area we weren't even at the time. And but with that one, you sit in your car for 2-3 hours, 6 hours. You talk, you yodel hee hoo, and then you go out for a half an hour or something, and cha-ching, cha-ching. Unfortunately, that's what it's became. Why do you think somebody's parent now has their own YouTube channel? Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Well, it's sad. I mean,
why is Tony still employed?
Yeah. I would hope that higher authorities like the FBI are looking into this, just everything about this disappearance.
Well, Seth wants him to. But, I mean, come on. You got TikTok Tony and Bullhorn Betty as your team. You had TikTok Tony coming out saying that Sebastian was in contact with Katie Proudfoot's mother, talking to him about the breakfast that he had. That he was the same one that promoted the fake ass Amber Alert that wasn't even real. Like, if that's the level of private investigation, Yoli, I really need to get into it, because maybe I would be on maybe I'd be on the all-star team right away. Because if that's my competition, it's sad. Because I could have done it. I could have done it for Seth. Unfortunately, we were there. And he did mess up with the C&D.
Yeah, I have a feeling there was some confusion about that.
I don't think so.
Sending it to you. You don't think so?
No. I already know why he sent it. I knew why he sent it as soon as I got the letter from the post office when I signed for it, and I saw who it came from. I already knew. It was Grandma.
Oh, Grandma.
Yeah, it was Grandma. Grandma's the one that had the problem, because she's the one that started all.
She got caught.
The lies. She's the one that started all the lies. Yeah, she's the one that started all the lies. Because think about it, you guys. When she came up to me, so she was working with Tara, which is a psychic. That psychic was sending me information amongst a bunch of other people that were sending me locations and different spots to check at the time. I was getting a whole bunch of information from a whole bunch of people, right? So she was already working. I already knew that grandma was working with her. Grandma had came in our shows and said that. The psychic was telling me that, right? So when the psychic is saying, hey, can you go to this spot? And it was during one of those that I went to the spot because the grandma told the psychic that that was the spot that she felt the strongest at, right? She even solidified that during my live stream that she came up to me on. Well, this is a spot that I feel real safe. Right? Hello, right? She already knew that I was there live searching. That's how they found me. I'm 30 feet into the freaking woods by the water. Hey, CJ, how can you even see me? Right?
You're like,
right?
Yeah. You gave her, I know, and then no.
So you know, and then you want to walk up, and then because look, JLR, shout out JLR, he did a great video a long time ago. Go check it out, y'all. He discusses the grandma and how the grandma is the one starting a lot of this shit and has been this whole fucking time. So what do you think she tried to do with CJ? Let's go up to CJ, and I know he's recording, and I know his microphone's on because I see him holding it, and I see him doing this with the camera. So I'm going to say, yeah, Seth has a video of Chris ripping down signs and flyers saying he's never going to be found.
Why would she say that? That's what I wanted to know is why would she even...
Why it goes everything with what she was doing on Facebook, on YouTube shows, the same stuff that she was saying, the same spew, the same narrative was getting spit out, and she was trying to use my platform to spin it because once she said it, listen, you guys can go back and check it. Look at the dates of all the shows when they started talking about what grandma said. Did I get the credit? Not really, but I'm not worried about it. There was a lot of people talking about Grandma Rogers said that Seth has a video of Chris ripping down Sebastian flyers saying he's not going to be found. And then all of a sudden, Chris Proudfoot goes on Web Sleuths and then snaps the fuck off on Web Sleuths because of the same shit that was being promoted from freaking Grandma. So in order for Grandma to save face, Grandma had to save face. So then she's like, well, CJ secretly recorded me. Because Seth didn't have the video, Yoli. He didn't have the video.
No.
And he probably didn't tell her that either. She's making shit up, and he's like, Mom, what the fuck you doing?
Poor, all I have to say is poor Sebastian. I feel bad for him. He could, he didn't need to be in this toxic piece of, he was just in a toxic soup with all these people. And it's still going on. It's still going on.
Look,
in fact, it's gotten worse.
That's who he was surrounded by.
Aww.
That's who he was surrounded by. I see mothers and fathers out there searching a hell of a lot more than a couple. And I see other family members that are mothers or fathers. They ain't making YouTube shows. They have spokespeople. They have spokespeople that come out. And they definitely don't usually hire spokespeople that expose their teenies or sit there and validate bullshit like it's true. The misinformation that was put out there. It's unfortunate that that is the examples that he was given in this world to have as people that were supposed to give him wisdom. That's what I'm saying.
He is. And you know what? If he ran away, I wouldn't blame him one bit. I just hope he's safe. Because to have disabilities and be in such a situation like that, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. I think it would be terrifying for him at the same time. And I remember seeing him so happy when he was at that game. You know that what was it? A hockey game? What was it? It was some kind of
the
game.
hockey game. Yeah, the
Yeah, he
hockey
was so excited. He was so happy.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh. And then like that's probably one of the highlights of his life. Like, you know what I mean? And then here you have all these crazies. It's turned into just, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but something's going to happen with YouTubers that are still involved with this Tony guy, with all this crazy. I think something will happen. I don't know what, but something will happen. Poor baby. Poor guy.
I hope. And it's true, like what Katrina said, he is the only victim, because I'm sorry. Like, look at how immature everybody around him is fucking acting. And it goes from the mom and the dad up to the grandparents, man. And when what we've done for that community and for Sebastian with everything that we did, and that's how we got treated from both sides, not just one side, people, both sides.
This poor kid.
Like, what are you doing? You're sitting there pushing some of the most dedicated, 150% dedication is what you got from us. And that's what you did with it. It's unfortunate. Instead, you got people out there that are local that can literally walk out there and then they sit in their car for 3 fucking hours when all you need is 5 minutes to walk out your door and you're right there. Give me a break, man. And it's all a freaking money grab. The people that are talking about it, it's all a money grab. Because honestly, what update is there than what we're going to show tonight, where they say they're narrowing the search?
Yeah, that's
really. It needs to be broadened. I've said I-40 this whole time.
Yeah, what the basis is for narrowing the search? What are they basing it on? And also, you know, if he ran away, maybe, you know, I still think he's very smart, and I think he's super smart, in fact, that nobody understands him. But I hope he ran away, and I hope he found a place and he's safe. But, you know, the likelihood of that is, I don't know.
Prayers, especially when he needs medication and has needed medication this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this is the unfortunate thing, and this is another topic. We're going to get into this. We're going to get into something else that has to do with Tennessee again. Unfortunately, I mean, geez, how many people have they found deceased in that area since we've been gone? You know what I mean? Like, it's, you hope not. You know, you hope not. You hope not, but at the same time, you still got to hold out hope. This is the newest update. This is from a day ago, where the search crews narrowed down the locations. Really? What update have you found? Let's see. Let's see what the update is.
A father refuses to give up on his missing son. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared nearly 5 months ago, and his father, Seth, is still searching. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. Sebastian's father told News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry they're operating this like a recovery effort, even though he believes Sebastian is still alive.
Memorial Park was one of the first places Seth Rogers tells me he searched for his son, Sebastian. He says this place is Sebastian's favorite.
Almost 2 months ago, this bridge was lit up in Sebastian's favorite color, green, in hopes of his safe return home. At that time, he had been missing for 2 months. Today, the search continues, almost 5 months later.
People think that we're not searching anymore. Well, they can think whatever they want.
No, they can go to the live streams and see the people sitting in their fucking cars. It's what they could do.
Oh, man.
Yodelay-hoo, just sitting in the car, rambling along.
Every time you say that, I think about my name, Yoli Yola.
No. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the psychotic singing that takes place when it's like, oh my Lord, what am I watching? Am I watching an episode of Yeehaw? You know, Nick at Night? Hee-haw. That's what it is, not Yeehaw. Hee-haw. Anybody remember Hee-haw? No? Look it up sometime.
I kind of remember Hee-haw, yeah.
It was on Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway, because because I'm not like 60 or whatever, 65. So it's a
Well,
little
I'm not 60 or 65 either.
Well, I mean, you had to be like 65 to watch it on regular TV or whatever. But Nick at Night, that's when you got all, like the Mork and Mindy, stuff
Yeah.
like that. The 70s shows,
Yeah.
it was for another generation. But yeah, it's like Maggie May contribution call out. Thank you so much for the membership and becoming a member. There is something earlier we went through 6.2 to 6.5.24 footage of the Micah Miller stuff. We're going to be doing episode 2 soon, and then the episode 1 re-air for all the subs will be coming up. I think Sunday night is when we'll be premiering that one. So if you're not a member, you won't miss out. You'll just be the members will have access to it a few days ahead of time before everybody. So basically, I'm showing all my footage. And as we went through it today, I think we went through a good, 50 videos maybe. And I think we had only uploaded 2 of them. So you got to see, it's basically, you're going to see stuff that probably won't even be uploaded in the future. It's just kind of going through it together. So I don't know. Let's see what update this is. Cause, when we were searching, there was already search efforts that had taken place before. There was already a couple months worth of searches that we were doing. There was other people searching at the same time. And then there's been other searches taking place afterwards. Hendersonville is not that big. So when it comes to not having a direction, when it comes to having all these searches being completed, and there's still not even a sock or glasses or something, even the littlest thing, something. If there's nothing, then that's why I'm saying, look, unfortunately, the only other place that you go to before you open it up to the United States and beyond is I-40, because I'm sorry, the whole drive down to the campground has always been a little off to me.
I don't know. There's something about that campground, but there's nothing there.
Well, it's like this. There was an update with the Madalina Kojakari case, and we'll be getting into that here later on tonight, too. The mom fled the United States, Yoli. She took off. She posted it on Facebook. She became a suspect 2 weeks ago. Well, finally named a suspect 2 weeks ago, and she just fled the U.S. And when the stepdad's on the stand, and they asked him where she was, he said, I don't know. I think that Diana, which is Madalina's mother, I think Diana took her somewhere, but she's never going to be found.
Oh my God. And this is in Idaho, right? This is in Idaho.
No, this is in Carolina. This is in North Carolina.
Oh, geez.
We're gonna get to it. It's true crime top headlines. We're gonna be going through a few things here. All right, let's see what this update is with Sebastian and this whole direction and the narrowing down. Because I think if anything, it needs to be broadened. If it's my view.
A father refuses to give up on his missing son. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared nearly 5 months ago, and his father, Seth, is still searching. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. Sebastian's father told News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry they're operating this like a recovery effort, even though he believes Sebastian is still alive.
Memorial Park was one of the first places Seth Rogers tells me he searched for his son, Sebastian. He says this place is Sebastian's favorite.
Almost 2 months ago, this bridge was lit up in Sebastian's favorite color, green, in hopes of his safe return home. At that time, he had been missing for 2 months. Today, the search continues, almost 5 months later.
People think that we're not searching anymore. Well, they can think whatever they want. Our searches are private.
Seth tells me after a herniated disc surgery, it is back to boots on the ground. He says today, over 40 searchers, vetted by his private investigator, will be eliminating locations Sebastian could be in Middle Tennessee.
I didn't know that Seth was qualified to read sonar.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I'm a pretty smart fella. Okay, I learn shit pretty easy, right? When I'm sitting there with people that are doing sonar, and I'm sitting there watching the sonar with them, and Trey will be like, "Yeah, this is a log, and this is this," and I'm sitting there going, "It looks like a bunch of scattered dots to me." I didn't. Shit. Do you think that's effective? Do you think that's effective?
Well, yeah, I don't know anything about sonar, but
what's he gonna find?
And then too, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about like live searching. Never did it, but I would like to do it sometime. Because,
Is this the new poster?
What?
I'm surprised it's not. I'm surprised it's not like the background picture for the YouTube channel or something.
Oh, yeah.
Seth and sonar.
Courtesy-
Sonar
courtesy-
Seth.
Courtesy of Tony Mathis.
Here we go.
Courtesy of Tony Mathis, yeah.
So Sonar Seth. What's he gonna find? What's he gonna find?
Tennessee.
Now I don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's just so sad. It's sad, but we have to make light of it because otherwise it's just too sad.
It is sad because these people make it a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that sitting right there off to the bottom right? That's a tire. Oh, okay.
Sebastian could be in Middle Tennessee.
Now I don't really have much stopping me from getting out there and doing what I need to do.
There's a refocus. We're trying to zero in on more specific information that we are gathering.
Seth tells me his search parties have become invite only due to chaos at previous searches.
They're private because we learned last time. You know, we had people following my searchers around that were just handing out flyers, and it doesn't bode well for people who are trying to help to be put into hostile situations.
Yeah, that's what we were put into when we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys don't remember every day it got worse and worse and worse. Hell, the last couple days we were there, I think I was followed by what, five cars at that point.
Oh, I just remember the gunshots. That's
ditching tails. All the threats. It was crazy. It's because of the circus that's brought. How many other missing people's cases have this much of a circus behind it?
Yeah, it's
the circus rolls downhill, don't it?
Yep, it does.
It's the same as shit. Circus rolls downhill. It starts up there. It just rolls downhill.
When I think of sonar, I think of something beeping when something's found. That's like but I guess there's looking at it and seeing what it is.
Right here. Yeah, they use the the sonar waves or whatever to look under the water. You gotta know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You gotta know what you're looking for.
I'm sure this is done for show.
It has to be. It has to be. Because how would he know what a tire looks like? A tire is going to be one of the easiest things. You know what? I challenge Sonar Seth to a tire off. Let's see who could find a tire first with sonar, and I guarantee you I could. Because that's one of the easiest things you can find with sonar is a tire. I bet you he couldn't even find a tire. What the hell is he going to find? Is that why their search was narrowed?
Huh. Wonder.
What else could it be?
And then the caption there says, "My son is not here, so we are nowhere closer." I don't know.
Why wouldn't the search need to be expanded? Like I said 2 months ago. You know,
They
I was
narrowed down locations.
I was
I don't know.
asking these people, I was pleading with them, asking them, hey, I can't go because of unsafe situation that other people created. You know, I can't go. But you know what? Come on, guys. I sat there. You can go to my video, the I-40 video. I sat there. I gave the reasons why. I pleaded with these people, shouted them out. Look, like even the communities, I was breaking it down like each county, you know, like each county. You could go to each county, break it down all the way down to the, you know, to the, even have some of the communities take part in it because it is for a missing child. What if, you know, hey, wouldn't you want us to do it for you if you came to us? Well, yeah, you're right. And that, you know what I mean? It's a community thing. No, they're still stuck around the same freaking roads, the same houses, the same neighborhoods, because this is what it brings in. It's this is unfortunate. It pays for Sebastian not to be found.
Yeah, that's icky.
I mean, as soon as dude makes a YouTube channel, Cash App all over the place, you know, like, bro, like it's
Yeah.
already a shit show.
Well,
what are you doing?
I know. I don't know. But I'm sure that it's being investigated, whatever. I'm hoping that not just his disappearance, but what's going on around his disappearance.
I mean, the FBI is not involved. The TBI is, you know, assisted. But the cops, you know, it's kind of like this, Yoli. If you called up the local police station in Hendersonville and you said, can you give us an update on the Sebastian Rogers case? What's the latest update that you have? They're going right back to the first day it happened.
He's missing. There's no foul play.
Right back to the, because the dog hit wasn't legit. The stuff that somebody found a couple times was never legit. It pays for him not to be found. That's why the search has never been expanded, people. That's why for all of these months, it has never been expanded. Because it pays for him not to be found. Otherwise, these people would be going outside of Hendersonville.
Yeah.
If it truly was, they would have been going outside of Hendersonville.
Yeah.
No, let's stick around the same roads. Let's go around the same patch of grass. Because, hey, guys, we're out here doing everything we can.
Yeah. Very sad.
It is. Let's see if there's any direction.
Middle Tennessee.
Now I don't really have much stopping me from getting out there and doing what I need to do.
There's a refocus. We're trying to zero in on more specific information that we are gathering.
Seth tells me his search parties have become invite only due to chaos at previous searches.
They're private because we learned last time. You know, we had people following my searchers around that were just handing out flyers, and it doesn't bode well for people who are trying to help.
Guess where that's at, everybody. Where Grandma found me.
To be put into hostile situations.
But he says the goal today is not to find Sebastian.
The search that we're doing today is
about time, because remember, I wanted to search that river, about 4 months ago. It's about time you got to it, buddy. 4 months.
Recovery effort.
4 months.
And I'm praying that we don't find him.
Seth says he believes his son is alive, But he added, some people still don't know Sebastian is missing.
We have to continue to hand out flyers until everybody knows.
Seth and Tony tell me they have one unanswered question for the Sumner County Sheriff's Office.
We think it's a valid question. We think it's a fair question. And that question is, are you any closer today to finding Sebastian Rogers than you were February 26th?
And for Seth, the answer to that question is no.
My son's not here, so we're nowhere closer.
If you're nowhere closer, how do you narrow down the damn search?
Yeah, it's very confusing. You know, it's sad because it's a kid. It's a disabled kid that's involved, and so what the heck? I know it's sad. Poor Sebastian. You know, I just hope he was really smart and he realized the situation he was in with all these crazy nuts around him, and he just decided to take off and he's somewhere safe. That's what I envision. I hope. But, you know, the odds are probably not that good. I mean, he had snakes as pets. I think you have to be you have to be somebody who understands animals. I mean, I think he was smart. I do.
I don't understand how you say the search crews narrow down the locations when you're nowhere closer. You have Tony sitting there going, the one question I'd have to ask is, are you anywhere closer from when the day it was reported? I mean, that's what I've been saying this whole time to all these people that have been doing nothing but mudslinging for the last 4 months, 3 months, because really it's like, what updates are there?
Right.
You have this guy doing a live stream saying updates, but it was nothing kind of updates. You have him going on other panels talking all dirty and sexual on fucking people's panels. Flirting with women, talking all sexual and shit on a freaking panel.
Yeah. It's very strange.
It is. It's a crap show. Check out this. This is the new stuff with Madalina Kojakari. Is what I brought up a minute ago. This came out just recently, I think yesterday, where she actually she took a selfie and posted on Facebook what you're gonna see on the screen, and then she quickly deleted it. But she's out of the country, y'all. She's probably, I don't know if there's an extradition law. I think Belgium is where she was headed to, is what she said. Who knows if it's true? But I don't know. She's gone.
Is missing on News Nation. Before we get to our featured cases this week, we have several new and urgent missing alerts that we are following and want to pass along to you. First, a major update in the search for Madalina Kojakari. Madalina was last seen getting off of a school bus in North Carolina just before Thanksgiving 2022. Now News Nation has learned that her mother, Diana Kojakari, named a suspect in her disappearance, has reportedly fled the United States. And a now deleted Facebook post from Diana showed her on an airplane from New York saying that she was heading to Frankfurt, then Romania. Diana writes that she is returning after 9 years away, leading many to believe her final destination.
Let's see, Bucharest or something. Then to Bucharest, Frankfurt, then to Bucharest, wherever that's
at. Her home country of Moldova.
Moldova.
Cornelius police named Diana a suspect in the investigation and disappearance of Madalina just a month ago. She also pled guilty to felony charges of failing to report her daughter missing, but was released because she already served the maximum time for the crime. And it was during our exclusive reporting on this case this summer that we shared the eerie comments Madalina's stepfather, Christopher Palmer, made in court.
Where do you think Madalina is? I think Diana took her somewhere with I don't know. But I believe that Diana has tucked her away somewhere where she's not going to be found.
Where I believe Diana tucked her away somewhere where she's not going to be found. And she was allowed to skip the country.
That's, I don't know this case. Actually, I don't know this case.
She was a schoolgirl. How old was she, you guys? 10? She was leaving the bus one day. The last video footage of her was her waiting to get off the school bus. And after that, disappeared. Kind of like the case we were talking about right before this one. Just disappeared. And then guess what? This guy right here that's on the stand, he drove all the way up from North Carolina to Michigan and then came back. It was first reported that she was with him on the drive up to Michigan, but somehow, obviously he didn't, because he was testifying that Diana took her somewhere around some family, tucked her away, and he doesn't believe she's going to be found. Tucked her away.
Sounds like tucked her away in a suitcase or something. It's awful.
Something. Just disappears, just like Sebastian. And she was allowed to leave the country. Now she's gone. Who knows if this country, wherever she's at, because, hey, she could tell you the sun's blue and it's still yellow. Doesn't mean it's true. So she could tell you, hey, I'm going here and here and here. Going over here instead. She's already out the country.
And she was just named a suspect like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago, she was finally named a suspect.
Oh, wow.
Because of what he said. Because of what he said. So because he said this, she was named a suspect, and then bam, she's gone. Now, this is what's crazy, is look at all the different ways she can look.
Yeah.
That looks like 3 different people.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Here, I'll show the full screen. It looks like 3 different people. Colored lights can hypnotize, you know? What the hell? How can one person look like 3 different people? It's crazy.
Yeah. Weird.
All right. Here's another one. It's unfortunate. They probably, I don't know. She's probably long gone. Who knows? Yeah, Cornelius, North Carolina, Nana. Yeah. Yeah, Cornelius, North Carolina. I believe it was, my gosh, it had to be almost 2 years, right? It has to be. Yeah,
November
it has to be almost 2
22.
years. Yeah, because it was right around when I started my show when that took place. 2 years.
Wow.
Here's another case from Tennessee.
Oh,
and this is horrible too. Yeah.
A teenage girl goes missing, and a few days later, she's found dead in the woods. And worse yet, in this case, another teen, a classmate of hers, is charged with her murder. Did he kill her? And if he did, why? And how will the classmates and her family live with this tragedy? We're going to dive into the details and talk with family law attorney Matt Hinson right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Something's up in Tennessee.
Macon County High School in Tennessee had ended for the summer. Students were looking forward to kicking back, enjoying their break. But for one 17-year-old and her family and friends, that was not to be. On July 3rd, Trinity Bostic, a girl described as a firecracker, someone who would light up any room she walked into, kind-hearted, smart, someone who had her whole life in front of her, was found dead. Her body was discovered by a Tennessee Department of Transportation worker who was picking up trash along Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Hendersonville.
Think about it, you guys. What did I just say a few minutes ago about how it pays not to find Sebastian? Why aren't any of the people searching for Sebastian coming across these? Think about it, people. You have all these people searching for Sebastian. Fake finding pants. They're searching the same spots over and over and over because it pays not to find. So let's just continue to walk in the same spots over and over and over and over. That's why you don't even come across these victims that are being found in Hendersonville and the surrounding areas. This is horrible.
Her cause of death is still being investigated, but what Tennessee Department of Transportation worker who was picking up trash along Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Hendersonville. Her cause of death is still being investigated, but what we do know is that a teenage boy has been arrested in connection with her death, facing a charge of first-degree murder. I'm going to lay out the timeline of events for you as laid out by reporting in this case. So on June 29th, Trinity had done something out of character. Her friend Chloe Redfield remembers, quote, "She actually had texted me that she was running away from home." So Chloe kept trying to call Trinity, but when she didn't answer, Chloe grew suspicious since it wasn't like her friend to just go off the grid. Now, Chloe said she didn't really believe that Trinity had disappeared until the sheriff's office for Macon County came knocking at her door at 10 that night. So the Macon County Sheriff's Department, they had received a runaway report. They traced Trinity's phone to Sumner County, which is about an hour away, and they sent out a bolo be on the lookout. But here's a question. Does any of that make sense? Did Trinity really run away? Her friends described her as someone who was excited about graduating the following year, a smart girl, a hard worker, loving, caring. She enjoyed music, fashion, working on cars with her father at his auto body shop. So why would she just pick up and leave, right? And as we know, her remains are found in a small wooded area near a road. So something's not making sense here about all this. Now, Trinity's friends and family.
Yeah, something's not making sense about all these searches for Sebastian and nobody finding anything. Give me a break. It's off the side of the road, man. In Hendersonville. This is where this came from. This is where the hot dog steak came from. The fake ass searches going on. Because people were serving up steaks, making you think they were made out of freaking beef, but they were made out of pig. So sad, man. You know, I feel bad because I can't even go back to Hendersonville to search, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well. I mean, things happen for a reason, so.
They do. It allowed us to be here for Mica. But, and shout out to Mica and their family and the community here in Myrtle Beach. It's been nothing but beautiful. And you've been very supportive and you appreciate everything that we offer. And it means a lot to me. It's just, you know, when you give a community 2 months of everything, I mean, you still have a connection with it, a soft spot, you know, and
That town is weird, that Hendersonville.
You know what, Buzz? Huh?
I got bad vibes from that town.
Yeah. Let me know, Busby. Let me know, Busby. Because if you're going down, I'm going to have to swing down too, buddy. Because it's just off the side of the road, you guys. What are you doing in Hendersonville, people? The utility worker. Busby said we were close by where she was found in one of our searches. I wouldn't be surprised, man. We searched a lot in Hendersonville. I wouldn't be surprised. Man, when did this happen? When did she go missing? Here, let me rewind it just a little bit. Because this is new to me. I've seen it come across the headlines. But it's new to me. I know she was... I don't know. That's weird. Why would you text a friend that you're thinking about running away and then all of a sudden you disappear and then another kid has something to do with it? That's... Wouldn't you think that if you were texting your friend, you would have been with your parents or something and something would have just happened? And that's why you would have been like, I'm going to run away. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because I don't know more about it or something. There's a few videos out on it. CJ, when we went over the bypass back in April, we were there. Let's see.
On July 3rd, Trinity Bostic, a girl described as a firecracker, someone who would light up any room she walked into, kind-hearted, smart, someone who had her whole life in front of her, was found dead. Her body was discovered by a Tennessee Department of Transportation worker who was picking up trash along Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Hendersonville. Her cause of death is still being investigated, but what we do know is that a teenage boy has been arrested in connection with her death, facing a charge of first-degree murder. I'm going to lay out the timeline of events for you as laid out by reporting in this case. So on June 29th, Trinity had done something out of character. Her friend Chloe Redfield remembers, quote, she actually had texted me that she was running away from home. So Chloe kept trying to call Trinity, but when she didn't answer, Chloe grew suspicious since it wasn't like her friend to just go off the grid. Now, Chloe said she didn't really believe that Trinity had disappeared until the sheriff's office for Macon County came knocking at her door at 10 that night. So the Macon County Sheriff's Department, they had received a runaway report. They traced Trinity's phone to Sumner County, which is about an hour away, and they sent out a bolo be on the lookout. But here's a question. Does any of that make sense? Did Trinity really run away? Her friends described her as someone who was excited about graduating the following year, a smart girl, a hard worker, loving, caring. She enjoyed music, fashion, working on cars with her father at his auto body shop. So why would she just pick up and leave, right? And as we know, her remains are found in a small wooded area near a road. So something's not making sense here about all this. Now, Trinity's friends and family, they're in shock. And you know what also makes this incredibly sad? Is that reportedly this wasn't the first Macon County student to lose their life. No, class president Landon Connor said that in the past 4 years, a student had passed away each year from different causes.
What?
In this case, we have a suspect. And as I mentioned, Hendersonville police, they have arrested and charged a 17-year-old classmate of Trinity's. Now, police, they haven't released his identity because he's a minor, but he is being held in Sumner County where Trinity's body was found. Trinity's friend Chloe said that the boy had gone to high school with them. And Landon Connor, again, the class president, said he was in their grade, that he talked to him a couple of times, but didn't really know him. Hendersonville police said they do suspect foul play here in connection with Trinity's death, but it didn't elaborate any further. They did release a statement saying in order to maintain the integrity of the investigation, that's why they're not releasing any more information. But Anybody with information about Trinity or how her body wound up near that road is asked to call the Hendersonville Police Department at 615-822-1111 or the Hendersonville Crime Stoppers at 615-594-4113. Hey, everybody, this episode of Sidebar is sponsored by Truth Finder. It makes sense since I want to talk to family law attorney Matt Henson, who has, unfortunately, specific experience in this area because Matt has represented the family of Tristan Bailey. That was that 13-year-old Florida girl who was brutally killed by her classmate, then 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. We actually produced a whole prime time episode on it where we spoke
I remember
with
that.
Tristan Bailey's family. Matt, good to see you.
Wow.
What is your initial impression of a story like this?
It's sad. It's gut-wrenching that we're seeing this yet again in our society, and unfortunately, we're seeing more and more cases of things like this in the media, in our local communities as well. So my heart, and I can tell you the family of Tristan Bailey, their heart goes out to Trinity's family as well.
They're aware of the case. Have they offered support in any way to Trinity's family?
It's such a new case that's out there in the media. I haven't had a chance to speak with them on any specifics yet, but I can tell you from the standpoint of the foundation, and I'm the president of the Tristan Bailey Foundation as well. We do offer victim advocacy services to any family anywhere in the United States that is going through this, where they've lost a child, and dealing with the media aspect of it as well as what they have to expect from prosecutors.
I was going to ask you that. In terms of what her family and friends are going through, what are the services your foundation could provide? Do you believe that retaining an attorney at this point in time is a wise decision? I mean, what would an attorney help with? What are some of the issues they're now navigating?
The primary issues they're now navigating, and this is what we as a larger community need to understand and remember, is the primary issues they're dealing with is grief. They're dealing with the grieving, and it's not just their family, but all of the children in that community are dealing with a massive grief. They need to focus on that, number one. Number two, whether or not the family needs an attorney, that's really kind of a specific issue for whatever the circumstances are in the case. My role in helping all of the families that I've worked with, and it's not just Tristan Bailey's family, I've worked with others in other states, is assisting with just understanding the process, because the process in the criminal justice system is very defendant oriented, is oriented towards their rights. And so there'll be a lot of things, I think you just mentioned, that prosecutors and police will be tight-lipped on, because they need to protect the integrity of that investigation and the ultimate prosecution. And so helping explain that process to them is useful, so that they understand properly what they should plan on seeing and hearing over the coming, what could be years of the criminal process playing out.
Generally speaking, at this point, do you see that while law enforcement might not speak to the media or the public about what's happening in the investigation, do they let the family know? Or is there a concern that if you let the family know, then the information might, go out further, and that ultimately it might be shared with the wrong people? I mean, I think the right thing to do here is to let the family know what's happening. You don't have to let everybody else know, but let the family know. And I imagine a lawyer could be a good liaison between the family and law enforcement. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, and that is certainly a concern that law enforcement is going to have, is how much information they can share. They want to share. I can tell you that. Law enforcement and prosecutors, they do what they do because they care. And they care not just about their case, but they care about the victims. And the victims in this it's not just Trinity. It is the family and the community. So they want to be able to provide those resources, especially before they get brought out to the media. They want to provide that information to them as best they can, but in no way, shape, or form do they want to do so that would compromise anything about bringing justice for Trinity.
And to be clear, I think it's important sometimes for these families to have representation, to explain the process to them, because even if you talk about a trial, what they could be exposed to at a trial. Also, the legal system can be very frustrating when there's delays in a case. I mean, we've talked about it before with the Brian Koberger case, how frustrating that is for that family there that they haven't seen a trial yet. And we just covered a case another day where a family is very frustrated about the idea of a defendant who may be offered a plea deal, so it doesn't go to trial. So there's a lot of the legal system. Like, I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney. I think that the legal system is fantastic, but it's not perfect. And there's things that I think it's a really good avenue to have some legal representation to explain certain aspects of this. You mentioned something to me before that you were seeing this a lot. Why are we seeing this a lot? If we're talking about, and look, to be very clear, we don't have a lot of information yet about what happened. But assuming this is a classmate of Trinity's, what could possibly be a motive here? What have we seen in other similar cases?
It's really hard to speculate on what the motive would be. I've seen various motives, from jealousy to love, and then sometimes just outright sociopathic behavior. That the motive is not anything that we can understand as rational people and reasonable people. But it's probably too early to speculate what the motive would be in this particular situation. But kind of going back to your original question, why are we seeing more of this? I don't know. And I think that's a question for psychologists and individuals who are really going to have to be studying what's happening with our youth today, because it's very different than what we've seen.
Let me ask you,
especially in, I'm going to pause it for a minute, especially in that area, because a lot of the people that are being found are youth. I can't imagine that. It makes me want to look up the runaway. How many runaways get reported in Hendersonville alone? What is going on? Like, is there something? Like, what is making all these kids want to rebel? What is taking place in Hendersonville?
That's a good question. And I wonder how it compares to other states, because in California, there's probably more missing youth than I even know about, but it's such a common occurrence that just doesn't get out there. But for sure, Tennessee, it's getting out there that there's a lot of missing youth, and they're found dead. Sad.
I mean, even when we were down there searching for Sebastian, there was 2 other teens that went missing, where they were found. But it's like,
yeah,
what is going on? Like, there's some kind of disconnect. And what is the disconnect?
Yeah.
And only the people that are from there can really tell you. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's not, you can't really say it is a small town, but you can't really say it's a small town because it's just right outside of Nashville. So really, you can literally drive 10, 15, 20 minutes and you're in Nashville, like downtown. So it's not like it's some small little, Moscow or something where it's secluded. Some little small town that's secluded.
It's interesting.
Somebody needs to train LE. I don't know. I think this is what I think. I think maybe they're just overloaded. I think they're just overloaded. I mean, think about it. Just in this city alone. Just in this city alone. Compare it to any other city. What other city is this one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one? It could be parents not paying attention, but there's some kind of disconnect. There's some kind of, it's almost like the culture of the 60s, right? The culture of the 60s where the parents were, you know, the 50s and the early 60s, this is how it went. And then their children all started reaching a point where they were like, we're disconnected. There was a huge disconnect, right? A huge disconnect from the children of the 60s and the 70s, from the parents of the 60s and the 70s. Humongous disconnect. It's another kind of a disconnect, but unfortunately, instead of protesting and celebrating freedom like the children of the 60s and the 70s did, for some reason, it has transformed into exclusion, isolation, running away is the answer for this generation, or I guess this generation in that city, in that city.
That is weird.
Let's see. The article does have the suspect name on it. Okay. Let me, I'm going to play this video. This says that it has evidence revealed, and then we'll go into that article. Thank you, Caddy. Here's this video here.
The News 2 breaking news alert.
All right, thank you for joining us for News 2 at 3. I'm Mark Kelly. Let's start with that breaking news alert for new evidence revealed after a teenage girl's body was found dumped on the side of a highway in Hendersonville. Now, a court hearing for the 17-year-old boy accused of killing Trinity Bostic just wrapped up. So let's go to Lishava Wimberly. She's at the WKRN alert desk with new information about this case.
Mark, the district attorney's office says the suspect, 17-year-old Fernando Paredes Mejia, will remain in jail until another hearing next month. Now, we've also got a copy of a petition that explains what he's accused of doing to Trinity Bostic. According to the Macon County Sheriff's Office, they received a runaway report for Trinity on June 29th. The Sheriff's Office was able to trace Trinity's phone to Sumner County, and a bolo was sent out. Days later, her body was found in a small wood line in Hendersonville by a TDOT subcontract worker. Officials arrested a 17-year-old Mejia for her murder. Now, the district attorney's office says Bostic was shot in the face, and the suspect's car was
God!
cameras in the area of the crime. Bullet casings traced back to the car were found in the suspect's home.
Oh,
the district
my
attorney's
gosh.
office says Mejia's defense waived his right to an appearance in his hearing.
What the hell, man?
Wow.
Shot in the face? Yeah, that's right over by everywhere we were searching. Shot in the face. My gosh.
Sun's cold.
Court documents have revealed new details in the death of 17-year-old Trinity Bostic. Bostic was reported missing June 29, 2024 in Macon County, and her remains were found in July by a Tennessee Department of Transportation worker. July 4th, an autopsy was conducted, and it was found that Bostic had been shot in the head. Her cell phone records were obtained and linked with the phone number of suspect 17-year-old Fernando Paredes Mejia. According to court documents, a search warrant was obtained for Mejia's phone records, and after they were compared to Bostic's, it was found that the devices met up around 2:30 p.m. on June 29th and traveled the same routes until just before 11 p.m. His vehicle was captured on several license plate readers. The search found a 9mm loaded magazine and a black bag containing the victim's belongings.
Wow.
Mejia claimed he had not seen her in over 2 years. After being confronted with the evidence, he then admitted he was with her. Oh my gosh. Like what? So she says she want maybe. I don't know. There's gonna be more coming out about this because he'll fess up.
Well, he already said, yeah. I mean, he'll.
No, I mean he'll go deep into. I'm sure he'll go deep into detail about what happened. Because I mean, for her to text her friend that she was thinking about running away, and the next thing you know, her phone goes silent. This is what's crazy. Is why would she go radio if her friend messaged her, right? And she messaged her friend that she was thinking about running away, but yet here it says the devices met up around 2:30 until just before 11. Well, then why did she go dark for 7 hours? I don't think she was driving around the whole time with him.
It could have been him texting using her phone.
Maybe yeah. That could have been it too. Him texting saying that to the friend, making it seem like she was gonna run away, so then people would assume that she ran away and that didn't happen.
But the way they said it, he dumped her on the side of the road.
Yeah, I
They
didn't
found her on the side of the road or something. Oh God, it's terrible.
Yeah, the way that he said that. Here's another article here. We'll get more into these as we have the true crime top headline shows. Family of 3 Chiefs fans frozen. Remember, we covered that story. The families are left distraught after the Examiner gives rough news that they passed away tragically. It has been 6 months. Wow, it's crazy that it's been that long. It's been 6 months since 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans were found passed in a friend's backyard after gathering to watch their favorite football team play. But the victims' families are apparently no closer to getting answers about the tragic incident this week. The families of those 3 men have few answers, and their questions are being ignored. The frozen bodies of David Harrington, 37, Ricky Johnson, 38, and Clayton McGeeney, 36, were found January 9th in the backyard of a rented home by their friend Jordan Willis. That's a crazy, crazy case, too. They had gathered at the home 2 days earlier along with the 5th friend to watch the Chiefs play the Los Angeles Chargers. An attorney for the 5th friend said the other 4 had been watching Jeopardy when he had left the watch party at about midnight, January 7th. For the next 2 days, family members of the 3 men called and came by the home, trying to reach out to their loved ones. One of the fiancés finally spotted her fiance in the backyard and then called the authorities. The families were verbally notified in February that the preliminary toxicology report showed 3 substances inside their body, one of them fent. Let me see here. One of the cousins was suspicious. I remember him. He spoke to him in a parking lot, was suspicious about the friend and his connections with the chemical industry that he worked for. Let me see. 3 cases are under suppression status and not open records are available. So I'm wondering I don't know what the update is on this article here. Maybe they can't say. They just said there's an update. The family's upset, but I don't see.
I guess the tragic death would have been the F.
I don't know. I don't see what the update is. I mean, weird is already tragic. I mean, they froze to death, in their chairs, which was really odd. Yeah, I don't see any updates on that.
But they said that the information is on suppression, so I don't know if they're investigating still.
Right. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Caddy. We got that one too. I was going to get into that one. This one has been, there's a lot of stuff going on about this one too. Give me 1 second. And I have a few more videos about this, but we're just going to check the one out tonight. Let me get to my folder here. Where did it go? This is Lauren Johansson. There's more on Alexi Treviso, Taylor Casey, Tiffany Witten, Abigail Bernstein, Mercedes Vega, Larissa Garcia, Bryson Muir. There's a whole Jeffrey Epstein, Sandra Birchmore. There's a whole bunch of updates. We're not going to be able to get to all of them tonight, but we'll get to this one talking about Lauren Johansson. And this is another law and crime video here.
22-year-old murdered in cold blood and left in a cemetery.
And it wasn't a simple assault where he slapped her. This is an individual that had beaten her severely. So the signs seemed to be there.
Her alleged killer, her ex-boyfriend, who was previously in jail for savagely beating her on a vacation. The body of 22-year-old Lauren Johansson was tragically discovered on July 3rd. Her remains were found in her own car, reportedly mutilated, wrapped in trash bags and sheets. Authorities would trace the crime to her
Isn't that
ex,
disgusting?
23-year-old Bryson Rivers, who was jailed just months earlier for severely beating her, but was released on bond shortly before her murder.
As a prosecutor and as a defense attorney, we deal with domestic violence cases all the time. Thankfully, the majority of cases don't result in the absolutely heinous crime that we have before us. And I think one of the things that stands out in this case is not just the actions of the defendant in terms of, and obviously this is allegation, but assuming they're true, but what he did to the woman he allegedly cared for, but how the system failed her as well.
New details just released piece together the timeline of what led to his release and the days leading up to Lauren's murder. So let's begin on December 11th of 2023. Lauren and Rivers were on a vacation in Nashville, Tennessee, when the two reportedly got into an argument that escalated after leaving a local bar. According to Metro Nashville police officers, they later found Lauren beaten inside a car with Rivers in the suburb of Germantown. The inside of the car reportedly was covered in blood, and a handgun was also found in the vehicle. According to police, Lauren had cuts on her head, her eye was swollen shut, and the car had blood spattered at the front and found the pistol covered in blood on the floorboard. Rivers reportedly had blood on his hands and face, but didn't appear to be injured. Lauren told police and paramedics the 23-year-old got mad because she was talking to another man, and the beating had lasted an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let me throw this up there. Thanks for that, Kaylee. Warning graphic content at the top there. It'll probably be for this whole video. So
God.
Just mute it for about 15 minutes. And once you see that warning graphic go away up there, then you can unmute it.
She explained to police she had been screaming for help at any car that passed by.
My
but he covered
gosh.
her mouth.
No
Rivers
way.
was arrested and charged with 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, 1 count of aggravated stalking, and 1 count of coercion
Oh
of a
my
witness.
gosh.
Then about a week later, a judge set Rivers' bond at $250,000.
Looks like Brian Laundrie, right?
I was just going to say, wow. Yeah.
Looks like Brian
Lauren's
Laundrie.
father, Lance Johansson, would tell local station WLOX he was in the Nashville courtroom and told the judge if they let Rivers out of jail, Rivers was going to kill Lauren. Adding it was the 5th or 6th time they got into a fight and Rivers would beat her. Their family would try to get Lauren away from him, but Rivers would always weasel his way back in. The warning to the judge was ominous because within months of the bail hearing, the horrific murder occurred. On March 13th, Rivers requested a reduced bond. Then weeks after the request, a judge would approve the reduced bond to $150,000, which Rivers was able to post.
And I think you had a case here where it was clear that the family made clear to the judge that if this individual got out, their child would eventually be killed, and they were right.
No way. The family pleaded to the courts.
That's sad.
Oh my gosh. The family pleaded to the courts and said, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. And look what happened. My gosh, for an hour.
You know, that makes me so angry. I don't know. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know what's happening, but at least in California and some counties, they're just letting criminals go. They're not even, I mean, they're just.
Because of the overpopulation in the prison system,
Yes,
you know?
and also in the courts. I mean, I'm still trying to go to trial on a case that last year I was supposed to go to trial. And got continued again till September 16th. And meanwhile, you know, they're trying to get criminal cases tried or whatever. But, you know, I think it's a joke. All they have to do, these criminals, is say, we don't waive a right to a speedy trial. When their trial date comes, there's nothing, they can't, there's no courts.
A lot of the times, they'll just push it off, too. They'll let you get out of jail, and you got to come back to court, you know, however many months down the road. Just, you know, you got to show up to court. We'll release you. We'll give you another chance.
No, this is so bad.
Wait till you hear the rest, Kylie says. Oh, boy.
And so we have to ask some questions about the decision making on the judge's part to lower the bail. And then it seems like there was just a domino effect of mistakes along the way that resulted in his ability to be able to travel wherever he wanted without any regard for the GPS monitoring, for the judge, for the courts, and be able to eventually commit the crime that is believed that he did.
Law and crime legal analyst Julie Rindelman explains the judge's decision to reduce bond would spark a tragic and devastating domino effect.
Look, I hate to Monday morning quarterback a judge's decision. I think from the evidence, it sounds like this is a young woman that had been beaten and battered before the initial arrest. The arrest itself involved a beating from what we've been told to basically a pulp where there was blood everywhere in the vehicle, where there were clear signs that this was an individual that, if let out, was potentially going to injure her more severely or kill her, such that the father made it clear that that was clearly something that could happen.
Rivers' bond came with conditions. Rivers was reportedly ordered not to leave Davidson County, Tennessee, and was ordered to wear a GPS monitor after posting bond. Then in a May hearing, Rivers and his mother asked for the condition of his bond to be changed so he could live in Mississippi and not Davidson County. However, the judge denied that request. In June, Rivers' assigned probation officer sent a copy of the judge's order to Tracking Solutions, a GPS monitoring company. And it was requested an email be sent to the district attorney's office to get the appropriate addresses for exclusion zones. Rivers' attorney then provided the courts with an address he would allegedly be staying at in Davidson County.
It is not an easy job for a judge to make a decision when it comes to especially these domestic violence cases, because you don't know what someone is capable of. And you can release someone who has not committed a incredibly, I guess we'll call it, serious domestic violence case, and they can still go out and kill. This case is a little unique because the signs seemed to be there. Remember the initial beating, he had a gun with him. And it wasn't the first time he had beaten her. And it wasn't that he beat her lightly. He beat her so significantly. And it wasn't a simple assault where he slapped her. This is an individual that had beaten her severely. So the signs seemed to be there. And it was incumbent on everybody along the way to ensure that if they were going to release him, which I think many of us have questions about whether they should have, that they were going to release him within parameters that protected the victim who deserved to be protected.
Court records would show Bryson Rivers was let out of jail on Monday, June 24th at 4:05 p.m., despite a bond order noting that Rivers should not be released from jail after 4 p.m. because Tracking Solutions would be closed by that time.
I'm shaking my head because I'm not, and I should be, but anyone who works in the justice system recognizes the lack of responsibility that often occurs, especially when people aren't talking to each other, people aren't reading documents that they're supposed to be reading. And those few minutes are kind of what helped this chain reaction occur, because that's how the bondsman ended up going to a different GPS company. That's how they didn't know what the bond was supposed to be for. Now, don't forget, there does come a point where they do know that he's not allowed to travel outside of the state. They put a new GPS monitor on it, but he still managed to travel outside the state. And so we still don't have answers as to what happened then.
Wow, a whole bunch of people failed her. How does nobody know what's going on with the ankle monitor?
It's, and you know what? The sad part about this is that all these people who screwed up likely have governmental immunity where they cannot be sued civilly. Although there might be some exceptions, but you know, she was an adult, and you know, the family, you know, saying that he's going to do it again. I mean, I don't know how much weight that carries, as opposed to if it were a child, you know, underage. But no,
Yeah, the whole ankle monitor thing right
that was,
there.
So like in California, you have things that are discretionary, which you can't sue. You know, there's things, but then there are mandatory duties that, you know, you can sue for if they have like a guideline or something, you know, in their rules, you know, like
a protocol.
Yeah, protocol, like Department of Health and Child Services protocol manual, or, you know, some kind of manual regarding, you know, people who have ankle monitors, things like that. But it's very hard to civilly sue something, you know, for something like this. But I think it gets worse. People are saying it gets worse. I mean, I'm always about trying to get around a way to sue them because they need to be held accountable. And you know, the good thing about these cases is they can't be confidential because it's public, right? It's you know, people pay taxes, so it's not confidential settlement. So, I mean, it would be nice to see that something could happen, if not just to teach them a lesson. I mean, you can't just, I mean,
Man, what do you think the ankle monitors are there for?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Why buy an electric fence for a dog if it's not going to keep your dog in your yard? Like, that's what you buy it for. Keep the damn thing in the yard.
Well, yeah, it's. I guess it gets worse. Let's see. I mean,
man,
why
this is
was
horrible.
no one alerted immediately? She's killed so shortly after he's released. And I think people fail to realize how quickly it was that she ended up being the victim of a domestic violence murder.
So instead, a bail bonding agent who also signed Rivers' release form took him to a different company, Freedom Monitoring Services. Court documents detailed more, as Freedom Monitoring reportedly said the bond order wasn't available at the time. So they took Rivers' word that he was allowed to return to Mississippi, and they didn't set the GPS tracking perimeter to Davidson County.
I've certainly seen mistakes made. I've certainly seen
My God,
irresponsible behavior. I've never seen someone
this has to be part of a protocol. It has to be. There has to be protocols for this not to take place when they first made the damn things. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it just upsets. It just upsets me so much that, you know, and these, yeah, I can't even put words to it, but it really upsets me. And this was the kind of thing that really gets under my skin.
There had to be a protocol. You can't just, like, with what they said right here, you can't just like, oh, we didn't know that we could do, it sounds like a bunch of people were being lazy and now they're trying to, you know, no, it was his fault. No, it's this fault. No, it's because the bad thing actually happened. This poor, and then the dad saying this is what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. Hopefully they can help hold somebody accountable.
You take his word for it. It's like they took his word for it. Why would you do that?
Especially when he's that kind of a offender.
Yeah, I mean, he's already he's getting an ankle bracelet.
And we saw the pictures of him. There's a few pictures of him where he was getting booked and he had blood all over his face. You know what happened?
Oh my goodness.
It's not a surprise. Oh my gosh, she probably couldn't get away.
Oh man.
Court documents detailed more, as Freedom Monitoring reportedly said the bond order wasn't available at the time. So they took Rivers' word that he was
Bond order
allowed to
wasn't
return to
available.
Mississippi, and they didn't set the GPS tracking perimeter to Davidson County.
I've certainly seen mistakes made. I've certainly seen irresponsible behavior. I've never seen someone or a monitoring agency take the word of a defendant that they're allowed to travel wherever they want. And remember, the bondsman knew he wasn't allowed to travel also and didn't say a word. And I'll be frank, it isn't just about them. The DA's office makes a call to the father, but the DA's office, at least not from the records I've seen so far, doesn't follow up necessarily with the judge. There were mistakes along the way, really in terms of everyone involved in this case, other than Lauren and her family, as to how it was that he eventually was able to travel. I have to add something, Elizabeth. GPS monitoring, orders of protection, they don't stop someone from committing a crime. If you want to commit a crime, you're going to go, if you want to violate an order of protection, you're going to go and violate the order of protection. If you want to ignore GPS monitor, you're going to travel, you're going to be, there's going to be signs that you left the area, but it's not going to stop you from doing it. The reason it matters is because it makes someone resist sometimes that urge to commit the crime that maybe they wouldn't necessarily have done. And that's the reason that it's so significant.
It wouldn't be until 4 days later on Friday, June 28th, when Freedom Monitoring would receive the bond paperwork. By that time, the company also received a no communication alert from Rivers' GPS monitoring.
4
So they
days later.
reportedly contacted him and ordered him to return to Nashville to be fit for a new monitor. But on the same day, Rivers' probation officer reached out to Tracking Solutions, which was the court-ordered GPS monitoring service, and informed Rivers' probation officer he never reported to them. So Tracking Solutions sent a violation report to the district attorney's office to let the DA's office know he was in violation of his bond conditions.
Oh my
The DA's office would
gosh.
inform Lauren's father that Rivers hadn't reported for an ankle monitor or had been heard from. However, Lauren's father wouldn't hear that message until 3 days later. On Saturday, June 29th, Rivers would return to Nashville to be fitted with a new GPS monitor. Then 2 days later, on July 1st, Freedom Monitoring said his monitor battery went down to 6% and placed a call to him shortly after 10 p.m. to charge it, which he reportedly did. But then around midnight, Rivers called to say he wouldn't be able to make it to court in Nashville the following day because he didn't have a ride. But on this day, Lauren's father's worst nightmare would come true. He discovered the message left by the district attorney's office from that past Friday and said he could no longer get in touch with Lauren, but also received a text that didn't seem like it came from his daughter. The next day, Lauren's father received a notification her Life 360 tracker had been turned off. Lauren's sister, who she lived with at the time, said she wasn't at home and that the security camera at their front door had been destroyed, prompting Lauren's family to report the 22-year-old as missing.
What
Around
the
10 a.m. on that
hell?
same day of July 2nd, Freedom Monitoring said Rivers' battery started dying and he wasn't responding to messages throughout the day. So officials contacted his mother, who said she hadn't heard from him or seen her son. So the court then issued a warrant for Rivers for being in violation of court orders after they learned he had been in Mississippi since June 24th and on a GPS monitor with the wrong company. His last
What
location
the
before the monitor
heck?
died showed Rivers was in Biloxi, Mississippi. But then the case would take a devastating turn as the Harrison County Coroner's Office said that same day Lauren was killed. Police discovered her body a day later on July 3rd when Hattiesburg PD used OnStar to track Lauren's car to a cemetery in Harrison County. While arriving at the scene, authorities say Rivers was seen running from the car. And that's when police made the gruesome discovery in Lauren's car as she was found wrapped in
Wow.
trash bags and sheets.
Oh
After
my
the devastating
gosh.
discovery, a 6-hour manhunt ensued to find Rivers, who was ultimately tracked down in the woods and taken into custody.
My
He now faces
gosh.
charges including kidnapping, possession of a controlled substance, and murder. At this
My
time, it's unclear
gosh.
if Rivers entered a plea, so it's unclear if down the line the case will go to trial.
So I think anytime there is a murder case, several questions come up. What is the offer going to be? Does a person want to take responsibility because they don't want to put the family through a trial knowing what the ultimate result's going to be? And I think it's also what the evidence is. I think we know here that he's caught nearby. I think there was a manhunt for 4 hours after he fled the vehicle where her body is found. And I think that with the GPS showing that he's in the area, I think he and his attorneys recognize that he's in big trouble. But the question really is, what's the offer and whether he's willing to take it?
As Rivers remains behind bars on a now 6-figure bond amount, Rindleman explains it's surprising he was issued a bond despite his previous violations.
If he had been arrested in New York, for example, I don't think there's any question that he would have been on remand. Other states are different. A lot of states don't do remand. They do $1 million or $2 million. So it surprises me unless, I hate to say this, unless the judge is confident that he can't make bail. Because if the judge is confident he can't make bail or there's no bond conditions of which the judge believes he can meet, then in a sense, $1 million really is remand.
That's a joke.
Well, the bonds people, they're not subject to immunities that I know of, but like immunity from being sued. But God, this is just, it's like one thing after another. And it's just like, people, do your fucking jobs. Excuse my language. Just do your job.
At least one. At least one.
I mean, follow up, do it. I mean, this is just.
There shouldn't have been a bond. You want to make sure he can't get out on bond. You don't give a fucking amount.
I'm just getting really tired of this shit. I mean,
right?
I'm tired. I mean, I see this happening and it's like, gosh, it's just sad. And, she was a young, woman and she was in an abusive relationship and it happens. I mean, look at Mica Miller and look at all these people. And it's just, I'm really sick of it. I'm sick of it because a lot of these judges, and I don't mind criticizing judges. I think well, first of all, I think they have a lot on their plate, number one, which makes it difficult for them to do their jobs. And number two, if that's the case, then they need to say something and say, the public is in jeopardy because we don't have enough people here. We don't have enough courtrooms. We don't have, all the cases are being piled up on one judge, and they need to say something, and not just keep going with the flow and getting their government paycheck. Meanwhile, all this crap is happening and they're still getting paid and people are dying and people are getting killed. And it's just like another day at work. And I mean, they come in and they make decisions and, like maybe wait a minute, and there's another issue in the Karen Reed, but that's a different matter. Just wait. I mean, have patience, but they don't have time to have patience because they're so overloaded. So if that's the case, that they're overloaded, that's a problem. And I do think that it is probably that, if anything, but it could be something else. I don't know. It's gross.
Freaking GPS people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think, it's just a mess.
There's so many mistakes right there. And all of that's protocol. It's gotta be. There's gotta be a freaking
there's guidelines.
Handbook.
A handbook.
Procedures.
And how you deal with the companies that provide the ankle monitors. If it's, people, I would imagine that the county would have a contract with the bonds people would have a contract with a company that does that. I mean, I don't do criminal law, but I mean, I would imagine that that's what it's just, and the fact that he was granted a bond, at least make the bond high enough so he can't reach it. I mean, it's just, but here we have judges making decisions and they do have a lot of discretion, but
What's the name of this freedom monitoring? Like, where is it located? I tried looking up freedom monitoring and I'm seeing freedom communication technologies and a bunch of stuff like that. What's this company, man?
This
Yeah.
freedom monitoring that fucked all this up. What is this company? Like, how do you even have a contract? How do you? I don't know.
Well, I
This
mean,
is so fucked up.
it is, and there should be. I'm sure there are protocols, or there's some standard that they have to follow, because these are violent criminals. They're not people who are jaywalking. They're not people who are drug addicts who are stealing things. They're violent people. I mean, they're people who are beating other people. I mean, come on.
You know,
And yet, and yet they go all the way out to prosecute people like Karen Reed and Brian Koberger, and they put all their resources, and I'm not saying that they're guilty or not guilty, those two, but they put all their resources into that. And then you have people who are doing these things, and because they're doing other things that they think are important, the resources are not there. I mean, it's a nightmare. I don't even know what to say about it. It's
tragic.
It is tragic, and it's sad, and
But these
my
females
God,
can't even be protected from.
no, this father, who, I mean, it should have been obvious that this guy snapped. He's not safe.
Yeah.
Send him for a psych evaluation. Keep him in, even if it's because he's not well or something. I mean, I don't know. Jeez.
And and the lack of services available for females to leave, or anybody, not just females, for anybody to leave an abusive situation. Gosh, to sit there. That's why I say that know your worth. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people out on this planet. There's billions of people. If somebody don't treat you the way you feel you deserve to be treated, there's somebody out there that will, man, for real.
Yeah, but these,
for real.
sometimes they don't know. They like a lot of people.
They get invested, and you look, you see signs, but at the time you're like, oh, he's such a great guy, though. It's probably just me thinking of something, and then all of a sudden it's like quicksand.
Yeah,
Once
and
you're in, and it takes a hell of a fight to get out.
yeah, and why do we even have bond or court or ankle bracelets? Why do we even have that if it's not going to work? It needs to work.
Because the jails are overpopulated again. The jails are overpopulated, so they resort to ankle monitors. Unfortunately, the people can't do their fucking job.
So you have a father who's bringing this out, who's upset and bringing it out. He's bringing it out. But imagine cases where, the family doesn't speak English, or the family is not as articulate, or the family doesn't know the whole situation. The family doesn't know that they can investigate the whole thing. I mean, somebody is saying, I read that the judge's competency has been in question for a while.
What's up, Buckeye Clay fan? It is one of these cases where no one can force her out, and she thinks she is fine. Oh, like a fucking Biden, where he called Zelensky Putin.
Oh my God, that's well, I'm not going to get into that.
Trump was his vice president.
I'm not going to.
That's like,
look.
Woo!
All I have to say, elder abuse. That's all I have to say.
My gosh, I thought about talking a little politics over at the lounge. We ain't doing it here, but my Lord, the last couple days, it's like, what the hell is going on?
Kaylee has a point with or Kylie with Aunt Bev over there on the Karen Reed case. I'm actually glad I got exposed to that case, because my goodness. But that's another story. But this
the Karen Reed, the Sandra Birchmore is kind of that's a crazy one, right?
Yeah. It's the Sandra Birchmore, and I'm just getting into it.
Yoli or Rosie's going to be doing some
She's got some specials she's working on for that.
Yeah, we talked to Rosie, Andrew and I today. We had a show with her, so it'll be coming out.
Cool.
Yeah, that case. Okay, it's these are the kind of cases I want to dig my teeth in and not let go until something happens. You know what I mean? Like I just it's because we're paying for all this. People in the community in the county, our funds, whatever we make, even if it's not a lot, it goes to these people who are getting salaries who are supposed to be doing their jobs. Anyway, this is how I spend my Friday night, but it's actually good to get it out of my system because it really just irks me. And doctors, I mean,
whoa, you did a show with Rosie today?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
With Andrew Myers, yeah.
Oh, for real? She
Yeah.
didn't even tell me. And
Oh, she's so cute. She's so
she
quiet.
kept it a secret from all
It's
of
okay.
us.
I was probably supposed to keep it a secret.
She kept it a secret from all of us.
You know
I
what?
didn't
You
know.
probably shouldn't have said anything.
Uh-oh. And
No.
when's it supposed to come out? Tomorrow?
Either tomorrow or Saturday. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Shout out to Andrew D. Myers too. I miss that guy.
yeah, he's funny. He's interesting. Yeah, I'm on his show a lot, and he has like these 1 hour segments that I can do in between work.
Yeah.
But
I miss that guy. He's a fun guy.
yeah, he's interesting. He's a very interesting guy. But I'm really, really upset with everything that's going on. And this week has really opened my eyes to everything and judges. Okay, so like you see this happening in the Karen Reed, there's a lot of legal things that happen that are not supposed to happen. Legal things that, legal things. CJ just act dumb. And it's just, I shouldn't have talked about it.
Oh, Yoli.
Anyway, but legal things that happened in the Karen Reed case that are just beyond me. And then the corruption involved, which is like literally, if I can give you 5 things. We had a officer, a state police trooper that destroyed his phone, even though he was told not to with an order. We have them collecting blood and plastic yellow Solo cups, collecting blood. We have one of the state troopers texting about Karen Reed that she's a wacko and we're trying to find nudes on her photo, in her phone. I hope she kills herself. That's what he said in a text.
Wow.
It's just beyond anything. I mean, their expert is basically a police officer who writes police reports, whereas on the other hand, the defense's expert was an accident reconstructionist with a PhD. Yes, Solo cups. They collect blood in Solo cups. It's just beyond anything. They actually investigated her trip to Aruba and interviewed witnesses about how she had a fight, okay, with John O'Keefe, but yet they never investigated inside the house where John O'Keefe was. I mean, and now we have all these jurors coming forward. It's just it's unbelievable, and the legal stuff involved is just this judge.
Yeah, it sounds corrupt as shit.
Well, especially when one of the lead investigators is being investigated by the FBI for this very case.
And it's 2024. We're supposed to be way better than that,
And this is what's happening in a public. I mean, this case is being watched worldwide, and this is what's happening. Imagine what's happening when we're not watching, when cases are not being broadcast worldwide. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, this is Lauren Johansson's father. He's recounting the legal nightmare. So he actually showed up on News Nation. This just dropped like 2 minutes ago.
There's no way we should be talking about Lauren Johansson in the past tense tonight. She should be looking forward to getting her nursing degree, being the light of her father's life. That is what should be happening right now. But no, here we are. 22-year-old Lauren Johansson's body was found in the trunk of her car in a Mississippi graveyard 9 days ago. She'd apparently been beaten to death and mutilated. People who knew Lauren have no doubt who is responsible, and the same day her body was found, police arrested Bryson Rivers, Lauren's ex-boyfriend. You see, this is why I'm angry. Because Rivers had spent the past 7 months in jail in Nashville after allegedly beating and kidnapping Lauren in December. Her father begged a Nashville judge not to let him out. And tonight, Rivers is charged with Lauren's murder. And Lauren's family is rightfully furious at what they call a series of errors that allowed this ghastly crime to happen. I want to bring in right now Dr. Lance Johansson. This is Lauren's father. Doctor, I can't imagine what you're going through. I am so sorry for your loss, for your family's loss. I have covered everything that has been happening this week. I just want to start. How are you doing? How is the family doing right now?
How well?
Thanks for asking, Jesse. We're doing fine. It's a very tough time for our family. I'm probably doing better than anybody because I have to hold it together. And Lauren would want me to make sure that everything was done to advocate for this to never happen to another woman again. So we're just very disappointed in so many different things that could have been done differently that would have resulted in my daughter, being alive now, as you already mentioned.
I want to mention that. I want to get to that. If you need to take your time, please. But if you can you walk us through how you found out what happened to Lauren? And my understanding is you were there on the scene with the coroner, right?
Yes, I was, Jesse. Well, to make it short and simple, I when I was there in December, I was promised that he was not going to ever be leaving jail, and if something was going to happen, they were going to let me know. And I thought that the trial was going to be sometime in July or August. Out of the blue, I get a call, actually a voicemail left, saying that Bryson's out. We don't know where he is. He doesn't have an ankle monitor, and we haven't seen him. So when I received this information, I just will be honest, I knew that she was going to be dead if I couldn't find her.
Oh my gosh.
And there's just a series of events that we can maybe talk about. It's going to take longer than the amount of time we have tonight. But during that time period of trying to find Lauren and when she went missing, I would just tell you, I tried so many times to find anybody that could give me a GPS location. There's a man with an ankle monitor. There's a woman with a phone, a man with a phone in a Chevy vehicle with Lone Star, and nobody could give me a GPS coordinate of where they were. And I begged, and finally I got it, and that's where her body was found.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry you had to. This is the way that you had to see your daughter in that way.
Oh my gosh.
I want you to take as much time. We're not rushing here. I need people to understand what happened here, in the sense that he was supposed to self-report to get a GPS monitoring. You were supposed to be notified. Did you ever get answers as to why this happened? Why he wasn't escorted to get a GPS monitor? Were you given answers why you weren't notified earlier about this?
I try to get answers, Jesse, and I'll just tell you that the DA's victim advocate basically told me that the victim has rights and that I wasn't entitled to be notified about any of this information. And it didn't seem right to me because they had promised that I would know about it because Lauren needed an advocate. Women in this position need somebody to look out and help take care of them.
Yes.
And they should know that if they're victims advocates, especially with the woman that's going through what she's gone through, because he would have killed her if the police hadn't got her out of the car in December. He was trying to kill her. And to be honest with you, he reached for a gun.
She's not. Yes, he's so right, because they say, oh, she's an adult, she's the victim, not you. But when a woman in an abusive situation is in that state, they can't think straight. They've been messed up. And you know what? At that point, they need somebody to to advocate for them, and that's what the victim witness.
Even in the court system,
Yes,
you
the
may not
court.
know what you're legally able or what you could do
Yes.
or options.
And I knew it. I knew they were going to say, "Oh, she's an adult," and the father, she's an adult. You know, she has the right. She can seek out. And no, no, she's already been beaten and abused. You already know what state she's in. She's not thinking right. If she were thinking right, she'd have beat the shit out of that man, or she'd have gotten out of there, or she'd have stayed away from him. I mean, that would be the logical thing to do if you were in your right mind. But she's no longer in that state. I mean, it's. I
She's
feel
in a
so
state of
bad.
fear. In a state of fear that
Oh, in a state of fear, yes.
she's going to lose her life if she doesn't, you know, which she did. She lost her life, you know. She obviously knew what he was capable of. And like the dad said, like, if the cops wouldn't have stopped and got her out of the car, he thinks he was going to, it would have been done in December. This is.
And you know, her father's educated. He's a doctor, and look, it looks like he has scrubs on. I mean, he's not. I mean, he probably works in a hospital. I don't know anything about him, but you know, he knows. I mean, you could tell he knows that just because she's 23 or 22, that doesn't mean that she doesn't need an advocate, or she doesn't need support, and that she doesn't need someone to be told that this guy's going to be out there, you know, so that he can intervene. You know, it just reminds me like I mean, this is just so tragic. And it's like, God, people, can't you just get it together? Can't you just help the people that you're supposed to be helping? Like, I don't get it.
Oh, I'm
I know
sure
it
he's
looks
been
like he's
crying a lot,
crying a
Tanya.
lot.
I mean,
Oh my God.
and
And
hell,
look
he was just the story right here is just, oh
I
man.
mean, it's pissing me off. It's a Friday and I'm tired. It's just
The courts need to do better, man.
They need to do better. They need to do way better.
You know, when Jesse had a video earlier talking about another case where he's like, look, I'm a lawyer. You know, that video from earlier. Look, I'm a lawyer. The court system's fantastic. Does it need a couple things to work? Yeah. Bullshit, bro.
No, the court
You're on
system.
News Nation. You cover
Yeah, if you're not watching the Karen Reed and Brian Koberger case, then maybe you'll say that the court is fantastic. But if you're watching those cases, it's not fantastic. And I'm sorry. I know that the judges have a workload on them and they have a lot to do, but that's part of the problem. So no, it's not fantastic. They need to do something quick. And they, as the government, they need to either get more help, eliminate corruption, however that's going to be done. But I think the main problem is they're overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff, and they want to easily get rid of cases. And that's just not how you're supposed to do it. I mean
look at it. Look at the industries out there the last few years. Everybody, no matter what industry you're working, there's a shortage. There's not enough people. And they're making people do two people's work for when they only have one people's time. This is why this shit's happening.
Oh my God. And I am so grateful that I got into the Karen Reed case, because I wasn't. And that case is someday I'll probably do a whole, if I ever get my channel up and running, I'll do a whole narrative of that case and how corruption works. And it worked in that case. It worked to a certain point. And now there's a mistrial, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. All right, we're going to finish this one up. What is that?
They got her out of the car in December. He was trying to kill her. And to be honest with you, he reached for a gun. He was going to probably try to kill the police, but they got lucky and he didn't kill them.
Wow.
So I would just tell you that all she could tell me is that basically it was none of my business. The only reason that she called me is because it was an emergency when she called me. And I was on the emergency list.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
Yeah, because if he probably found out she contacted his dad, that or contacted her dad, that he'd probably do something. You know what I mean? You got to.
Well, if there is a concern about this particular judge, about her having strokes, and I don't know if that's true, but somebody mentioned it and she's having trouble, then they need to intervene, because this cannot be happening.
No, there's.
Hang on.
Gosh,
I'll be
all
right
over
back.
the place.
I'll be right.
Just all over the place. It's from the person serving bagels all the way up to the judge. Like, from the bottom to the damn top. And then the immunity stuff, right? It's broken. For real. I'm looking up this. I looked up freedom monitoring. It just comes up with telecommunications, scram provider, academic freedom monitoring project. Education, freedom for families, academic freedom, general
Look up
monitoring.
freedom and then ankle monitoring. Maybe it'll come up.
Yeah. Let me see.
I just don't get it.
Freedom. Here's what I'm looking up, and it's not showing anything. Freedom ankle monitoring. Nothing, you guys. What the hell is this?
No.
Is it even legit? Freedom.
Oh, maybe they went dark.
I don't think so.
It would still be up there. I mean, there's old businesses that are still up there, like, in the internet. Wow. Oh my God, this poor family, this poor dad. You could tell. I mean, his eyes are all swollen. Oh my God.
And then the way he found her too. It's so
I
sad.
just, it needs to get addressed and handled. I mean, this is just.
And he knew it was going to happen too. I don't know.
Because it's a pattern. It's predictable.
Yeah, they're cookie cutters.
It's just
there's signs. Don't dismiss them, people. There's always signs. Don't dismiss them. Don't be like, oh, I'm just thinking. No, there's signs. There's billions of people on this planet. If somebody doesn't treat you the right way, at any moment in time, as soon as they don't treat you the right way, there's somebody else out there that will. Trust me. It just may not happen when you want it, but it will happen.
Yeah,
There's
so
always
bad.
somebody out there. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I want to say thank you for hanging out. Yeah, we appreciate you so much. This has been a long time. Shoot.
Yeah.
Been a long time. Thank you for that. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight, doing something a little different where we're talking true crime top headlines. I feel like these other ones too, so we'll do
There's so
some
much. Yeah.
There is. I mean, it just the last couple of weeks, I'm just like, man.
Yeah.
I need to have one of these shows where it's true crime top headlines.
Yep.
It's 2024. Like I said, we're not pumping Model Ts off. It's not the 20s and 30s. This is we're supposed to be evolving and be smarter every single day and try to be better every single day and work harder every single day. And it seems like everything is going ass backwards, and I don't understand it.
It's
I feel
scary.
like Truman, like in the Truman Show, it's just like, is this all really fucking happening? It doesn't make any sense.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Okay,
We'll be
well,
back
thanks
tomorrow. I
for
want to
having
say
me.
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Yoli. Appreciate you very much.
We'll see you
Hope
all.
you all have a peaceful, positive evening, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everybody.